Hi, I'm Sai, and this is the story of how I, a full-time introvert, tried to flirt with my crush, and instead nearly fried my brain with secondhand embarrassment from myself. Spoiler alert, this is not a romantic comedy. I didn't exactly get the love story I dreamed of, but I did discover some pretty weird things about how introverts handle crushes. It all began during my last year of high school. I was the quiet kid, the background character no one really notices, the type of student people look at and say, "Wait, you've been in this class the whole year?" Then came Alex. They transferred into our school mid-year, and from the very first moment they just stood out. Confident without being cocky, friendly without seeming fake. The kind of person who just feels easy to be around. And me? The second they smiled at me during attendance, my brain immediately jumped to, "Welp, guess we're getting married." I didn't even know their last name yet, but my imagination was already planning the honeymoon. The problem? As an introvert, I had absolutely no idea how to actually show someone I liked them. So I came up with a flawless 3-step plan. Sit kind of near them in class. Never actually say a word. Hope they magically fall in love with me through vibes, I guess. One time we made eye contact for a full 2 seconds. It felt electric, like a scene out of a movie. And then I immediately panicked, looked away too fast, and tripped over a desk. Smooth, right? For weeks, I basically lived inside my own head. I said hi, in my imagination, smiled, in my imagination, even had entire fake conversations with Alex, in my imagination. Meanwhile, from Alex's point of view, I probably looked like I was either avoiding them or silently judging them. Possibly both. Every single day I'd hype myself up. "Okay, Sai, today's the day. You're actually going to say something, even just hi." And every single time the moment came, and I froze. My heart would pound, my throat would go dry, and I'd suddenly find something very interesting to look at. Like a pencil. To make things worse, I developed this ridiculous crush anxiety habit. I'd type out a message to Alex in our class group chat, like, "Hey, did you get the homework?" And then immediately delete it and just Google the answer instead. There was one magical moment, though. I almost managed to say hi. I waved at Alex. They waved back, and for a split second I thought, "It's happening! This is the start of our love story." Then my brain short-circuited. I panicked and walked straight into a door. I wish I were joking. After that, I avoided them for an entire week. Not because I didn't like them anymore, but because I literally couldn't handle the flashbacks. Eventually, I realized I'd reached that dreaded introvert stage where you've been silent for so long that your feelings twist into guilt and self-doubt. I started thinking, why can't I just talk to them? What's wrong with me? They probably like someone more confident, someone better. At that point, it wasn't even about Alex anymore. It was about me feeling like I wasn't enough. Like no one would ever choose me. And honestly, that hurt way more than any possible rejection. So I made a decision. No more imaginary flirting. No more maybe tomorrow. I was going to actually talk to Alex, even if I stuttered, even if I turned bright red, even if it was the most awkward conversation of my life. My chance came during a group project. Our teacher paired me with, you guessed it, Alex. Inside I was screaming. Outside I was like, cool, totally fine, no big deal. Thank you, universe. While working together, I discovered something surprising. Alex was also a little shy. Not in the exact same way I was, but still. At one point they asked me, "Hey, do you like Studio Ghibli?" And I almost burst into tears. I love Studio Ghibli. That one simple question opened the floodgates. We started talking, really talking, then texting, sharing memes, swapping playlists. I even learned that Alex had noticed when I'd go quiet in group chats. And they sometimes felt anxious too. No, we didn't suddenly fall in love and run off into a magical Studio Ghibli sunset. But we did become real friends, genuine friends, and maybe, just maybe, someday it'll turn into something more. But that wasn't the point anymore. Here's what I realized. I didn't need to transform into some loud, outgoing version of myself to matter. I just needed to be brave in my own quiet way. Sometimes flirting doesn't look like grand romantic gestures or bold confessions. Sometimes it's just showing up, stumbling through awkward small talk, sticking around long enough for someone to truly see you. So yeah, that's how I, an awkward introvert, tried to flirt and didn't completely crash and burn. Have you ever had a crush that made you panic every time they looked at you? Drop your most embarrassing stories in the comments, please. It'll make me feel so much better. I'll be down there, reading them all while eating snacks. In a quiet room, with Wi-Fi, because introverts unite, separately of course.